I should move these so people can actually see my eyes. All right, good evening. I'm Karen Biko, and we're going to have our Studio Tuesday tonight. And we're taking a project that we've done previously, and we're redoing it to make it small. And we want to make Christmas cards or cards for whatever occasion, but I thought they looked rather Christmassy. So this is the one that I did quite a while ago. I was sort of playing around with things, and I did that one. Today, I wasn't sure if I liked how I had finished it off with just that little square around it, and I might still work on that a little bit. Today, I tried something else, and I tried just coloring around there. I'm not sure I like that either. So, you know, that's the hard thing. That's the thing about art, right? It's always a process, and you're always, you know, trying to figure out the best way to do it or your best presentation. So, still working on it, but anyway. So that's what we're going to do. I call these radial design cards because it comes off from a radial sort of picture. And what I started with was, and I think if you watch my little video, I showed you some of the tools that I use. So I like using these. This is a circle template. It's a drafting sort of little mechanism. The nice thing about using something like this is that you can, there's a fly in here. You can use that circle, and then you can make smaller circles inside so that you have little borders and stuff like that. So that's kind of a nice thing to use. The circle that I used was about 2¼ inches, which is this big one. And then I use some little circles inside. If you don't have this, because not everybody does, and I learned drafting, you can do something like, now these, sorry, they're covered with paint, but these are cookie cutters. So there's nothing wrong with taking a set of cookie cutters and using those to create your circles and circles within circles and stuff like that. But if you don't have that, then you just find things that you have around the house that you can use to make circles. Okay, and you can use all sorts of different sizes and stuff to make circles, even like the lid of your glue. So whatever you can find. This one is a bit big, but for what my purposes are, but that's okay too. And really all we're going to do is we're going to just take a sheet of paper or your sketchbook. Hopefully, if you have a sketchbook, it's nice to have a sketchbook because then you can just sort of collect all your ideas and stuff like that. And what I did is I created a page of these circles, and you can see how this one, I did a circle, and then I did smaller circle inside, couple of them with pencil, and then I did some lines to sort of divide it up so that I could do some sort of a mandala pattern. So I did all these patterns in my sketchbook, and then what I decided to do was photocopy them, because especially if you're going to make a whole bunch of cards, then you could photocopy them and you can color them all different ways. Now, when I photocopied them, or when I copied them and printed them, I printed them actually a little bit smaller. They're quite a bit smaller than what I had intended. So mine are going to be really small tonight. But now I have all these little circles that I can paint, that I can color. And even if they're the same circle, I can color them differently and they'll look different. Well, they're going to look different anyway. So here's one that I started coloring it today, watching a movie. So anyway, so that's sort of what we're going to do. I'm going to switch the camera view. So I'm going to start a new page and just sort of show you what I've been doing. And then you can sort of follow along or do your own thing. Okay. All right, Bill, now this is where I need you again. I need to go to share screen, right?
Yeah.
And
advance.
Top. You know, eventually I'll be able to do this and it'll be so good. Content from second camera?
Yep.
Excellent.
Bottom right.
Share. Okay.
Oh, did it turn off again?
I don't know what it did. Okay. Excuse me. I'm having technical difficulties. Here's my techie guy coming in here.
It turned off again.
I can't, my phone turned off. So yeah, anyway, so braving the snow. I gotta tell you what I did. Hey, there's Bill.
Hey, Bill.
Hi, everybody.
So this year, my daughter wanted to carve pumpkins. So we bought 4 pumpkins and we all carved them and stuff like that. And then as the snow flew, I brought the pumpkins in, pureed all the pumpkins. So I have 4 pumpkins worth of pumpkin puree that I can use in.
Nice.
What was that?
Sound effects.
I think he just hit the emergency button.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I have all this pumpkin puree for pumpkin recipes. So that should be really interesting. Okay, I think we've got it here now. Okay, so this is my sketchbook. When I'm doing something like this, like here's the page that I did all my things on. I'm going to start on a clean page because you can sort of see sometimes the ink comes through the page. And especially if I'm going to be photocopying these, I want them to be super clean. So I'm just going to go to a new page in my sketchbook. Don't worry, I'll put something here eventually because, sometimes I do stuff on scrap paper and then I just glue it in because, I don't like having blank pages in my book. So anyway, I'm going to use my circle template, and sure, I told you guys to bring a nice pen to draw with, and I didn't bring one for myself. Oh boy. Let's see if I can find one. Oh, here's one. All right. So the circle that I'm going to do, the big circle, 2 1/4, I'm just going to do it with my fine line pen. And I don't have to be super precise. I'm just going to go around.
One moment.
Uh-oh, my phone's doing something weird. I'm just going around into.
Still working.
I don't know what she's doing. My phone is telling me that she's working. Maybe she's making circles too.
Something went wrong.
Oh,
Please try again.
Something went wrong.
Bill.
Hal, Dave.
Anyway, so I'm just doing these circles. You can see my pen's not working completely, so I'm just gonna do one more here. There, maybe I'll go back over these ones. I do like to have that nice, so I know where my circle is. Okay, now on this template, now this is the thing that's lucky about using a template. It makes it a little bit easier for your circles. If you're doing something like this, where you're using something like this, you kind of got to eyeball it, and that's what I do. But with the circle template, I still have to eyeball it a little bit, but I've also got these little lines here to sort of help me sort of eyeball it a little bit better. But I'm not going to use a pen when I do these lines because I don't know if I'm going to use them completely. So I'll just grab a pencil. Oh, I like this one better. Mechanical pencils I like because they're always sharp. And I'm just going to do a circle inside a circle. And I might do a couple of those. And I'm just sort of making sure that they're sort of in the center. And you can just do a whole collection of these and then, slowly just start to fill them in. Sometimes it's nice to have a really cool border. And it's okay if they're not perfect because we're going to be cutting these up anyway. So they don't really have to be perfect.
What?
What? I know, Leslie.
It's too late.
So anyway, so I do like to do a few circles in each one. The other thing that I like to do now with the templates, because they have these lines on 4 sides, it helps me if I want to make like a crisscross in there. You can also use a protractor. If you know where the center of your circle is, you could use a protractor, which I don't have with me. I'm sure I have one somewhere. And then you could be a little bit more precise. But you could just divide up your circle. And, even if you wanted to do, I mean, I really am just sort of eyeballing it here. But, sometimes it's just good enough. And I'm just going to mark these spots too. And once I've got sort of like this kind of grid going on here, that shows me where my lines are and things like that. That's when I can go in and start doodling. So I'm going to use this, see if this pen works for me for doodling. I seem a little lopsided on this one when I look at it now, but that's okay. So you might just do, you know, something very simple where it's just, you know, a flower in the middle. And you just sort of build on it. See, I have one bigger than the other. It's okay.
Most of us do, darling.
Yes. Yeah. There's my flower. But then, you know, maybe I'll take that straight line and just, you know, do something interesting with it.
Mm-hmm.
Or just something really weird with it. I don't know. Sometimes it is weird. I hear measuring going on. Oh, I did that one really badly. What was I thinking? I don't know. Because I'm still trying to go fast for you guys so that you don't have to sit here and watch me draw. So yeah, that's pretty horrible. But then you can also do things like this where you're just gonna. It's looking a lot like a flower to me. And when I'm doing these for my cards, I do try and go a little bit slower and try and be a little bit more precise, but it's still also not that important because it's just a handmade card. And so following those lines just to, you know, sort of give me a measurement of where I want to be. Did I give you guys enough instructions on what supplies you needed tonight?
Yes.
Good, because I felt like I had kind of fallen down on the job last week. So I thought I better do better.
Well, I stopped at the craft store today and they just happened to have all these stamps there for like $2.99 for a package. So
Nice.
I bought a bunch.
Oh, that's
I
good.
got some that say like happy holidays and
Yeah.
merry and bright and stuff. So I can do that on the inside of my car and then emboss it.
Yes, you could. Yeah.
So
you could
I'm
use that
learning
embossing
from
powder.
previous classes.
I like that.
I went and shopped at a particular store and picked up some embossing powder.
Yeah.
And I tested it today
Yeah.
and it was a lot of fun. The biggest challenge was finding one incandescent light bulb in the house.
Oh.
Yeah, it's getting harder and harder to these days.
You know what I did
Yeah.
that works really, really good? I turned on my stove
Oh,
and I held my card in a pair of tongs over the burner and it just goes whoosh, and it's done. The whole thing's done instantly.
That's pretty
that's
cool.
pretty funny.
Now, what
Yep.
kind of burner do you have?
I have a ceramic top.
Yeah, that would work.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. You know,
I have gas. It's not going to work.
Oh yeah, that might be a little scary.
It'll work
But I
briefly.
did find a light bulb and it worked. So this is my little test thing. So I have jingle, jingle, jingle rubber stamp.
yeah.
So the first time I did it, I didn't keep it over the bulb long enough.
Yeah.
And then I thought, oh, I've done this wrong. I've just got to have a whole bunch of it on it, not shake it off. So I did it again, didn't shake it off, turned into a great big silver embossed blob.
Yeah.
And then I went, okay, let's try this again. And the third time it worked. So I've got this little silver jingle, jingle, jingle. And then
Mhm.
I tried some other rubber stamps that I have, little hearts and hellos. And boy, was I having fun.
Oh, well, that's great. I'm glad you had fun with it.
Really, really, really fun. So, yeah,
You know, it's just
definitely
funny.
gonna have silver embossed stuff on my cards this year.
Well, you know, and I've had the embossing powders. So the embossing is what we did last week. And I've had those powders for so many years. And I was just like, let's just start using it. Anyway, so I've just done one here and it's pretty, you know, it's pretty messy, but it still looks pretty good when I look at it in the camera. So,
Nice.
yeah.
Very,
And then
very snowflakey.
it is snowflakey, which is very appropriate for this season and for what we're doing next week.
Mm.
Ooh.
Oh, I
Too
know.
much snowflakey here for my taste.
Oh, you like the snowflakes.
Oh, I like the snowflake crafts. I just don't like the snowflakes that keep coming.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, it's just a little too much
cold.
snow right now.
too cold.
I said to Bill today, I said, I love the snow and I love the cold. I love winter. And he looked at me and I said, I'm really trying reverse psychology.
It was pretty out today though, with the sun
is pretty pretty.
shining and
Yeah.
all the
It's
snow
pretty
heavy on the
great.
branches.
Yeah. You know, my parents have moved here from Victoria and, you know, the first snow, Mom's like, oh, it looks horrible outside. I said, well, Mom, you don't have to go outside because they're in a retirement home. And I said, but isn't it pretty? And she's like, no. I'm like, I know it's not Victoria, but you're here with me.
Mm-hmm.
So Spencer, it was about minus 17 Celsius today. So we're hanging around zero. Sucks.
It's going to get
Too
warmer this
cold.
week.
Huh?
It's supposed to get warmer this week.
Yeah, I heard. Yay.
Everybody concentrating.
Yeah.
Mm.
Bless you.
Yeah, it's a cough, but thank you.
Oh,
Robitussin.
well, 'tis the season for colds and all that stuff. Bill had a man cold last week.
Oh no.
Those
Those are the worst kind.
Bill.
It's the worst cold ever.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
So I'm just going to doodle like 2 of these and then I'm going to move on to coloring or rendering.
Hey,
Nice.
Karen, did you see that British guy who doodled his entire house?
No.
Nice.
Yes.
Did I?
I did. I
He,
thought it
is it?
black and white.
I've seen it.
Oh,
It's really crazy. It's
Yeah.
all black and white,
He even
every inch of it.
doodled his bathtub, his toilet, and his stove.
Wow.
It's
Wild.
wild.
He doodled everything.
You know, I have seen, you know, people sort of like do a doodle on a wall. It's so neat.
This was
You know-
like doodle on steroids, cocaine. opioids, everything.
Too much doodle.
It was
Yeah,
crazy. It
This
was,
guy,
it was,
he's like famous for his doodling.
it was crazy. I mean, you've never
It
seen
is
so much
crazy.
doodle.
There's no break, no breather for your eye. You just go from one pattern to another. It's fascinating. I
But
couldn't live in that sort of space. I could live in a part of it,
Yeah.
but
It's just
holy
too much.
cow.
Yeah. Well, when I worked at a certain store, I had suggested at one point, because they were going to paint the bathroom doors. And I said, wouldn't it be really cool to get the employees to do like a big Zen doodle on it?
Karen.
Yeah, that'd be well.
And I thought that'd be really cool if I could direct it. Oh, him.
Oh,
Yeah,
fudge.
that's a little bit busy for me.
I'm gonna skip that.
But yeah, I had suggested that they do that. I thought it would be a really good sort of thing to do with the employees, and you know, we all just sort of paint it, and no, they put stickers on the door.
That's so,
I was like,
them.
you know,
Do
you
not-
guys are a creative place. You know, you should have your employees do some creativity things.
They're not though.
I know they don't.
They're
listen to
not
me.
really creative.
Yeah.
It's like things that you can cut out and stick down. That's what they are.
That's
Karen.
pretty true. Yeah, I would never.
That's mean.
I could never live in that house.
I'm not trying to be mean. It's just the way it is.
That's the way it is. You know, one of the things that used to make me laugh all the time was people would come in and they go, can we get a rock painting kit? And I'd be like,
A rock painting kit.
yeah, I said, you know, you can find those in a field. For free. And you know, and I didn't mean to be insensitive, but I had this lady come in and she was getting all this art stuff, and she's in a wheelchair, and she's just lovely, and I'm helping her find stuff, and she's got her father with her maybe, and you know, and one of the things she wanted was a rock painting kit. And I turned and I said, you know, you can find those in a field. And he looked at me and he said, well, how's she going to get into a field? Well, I said, I know she can't get into a field. I said, but you could go into a field and get rocks for her. It's like I wasn't expecting her to go into a field and get rocks, but I figured
Mhm.
he could go get rocks for her. It's like, whatever.
People just can't think outside the line.
No, I
Well,
guess
they weren't
not.
rocking that idea.
Oh, God. All right.
Well
I've
played.
doodled too. I'm going to color because I want to be able to cut this one. So yeah, this one I started coloring earlier, and I'm just using pencil crayons, and the ones that I'm using are Prismacolor ones because that's what I have. But quite often when I'm doing this with kids and stuff like that, they'll just be using whatever pencil crayons they have, or, you know, like the kid ones. I also sometimes will use a little bit of marker where I'll put the marker down and then I'll use pencil crayon on top of it. Or the markers can just be points of color, and that sometimes just pumps up the color a little bit. So, and I'm going to leave a little bit of white on some of these spots here. I just don't know which ones at this point. And it's always nice to have sharp pencil crayons, and I have some dull ones here that I was sharpening before I came online here, but I didn't sharpen this one. And it's
I'm
really
surprised you don't have one of these. Pencil sharpener.
because I have, oh, I can't show it to you. I have one of these. And I go, "Wee."
Oh, I love those.
So yeah,
Don't you find they're hard on your pencil crayons though, like hard on the leads? That they
but I get
break
a
them a
really
lot?
nice, yeah, they do break a lot, but I get a nice sharp point when I do it. Whereas when I'm using like a pencil sharpener, I have one of these. I don't always get a sharp point, and they break all the time in these too, right? So
Oh, yeah, but can I tell you a trick? Because
Sure.
I have done lots of pencil crayon art.
yeah, is it about
Instead of putting the pencil in your dominant hand and turning the pencil, put the sharpener in your dominant hand and turn the sharpener, and you get way
Ooh.
less breakage. And
really?
you get nice sharp points. Yeah.
Well, I just
I'm gonna go sharpen some.
well, this is
No, eh?
Buy a good German sharpener, that works too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
get a new sharpener with a nice sharp blade. They sell those little metal ones
Yeah.
at the art stores, you know,
yeah.
and they're really good too. Like the stuff you get at the school supply places, they're not as good.
Well, the nice thing about this clear plastic one, Karen, you can see the point that I generate. Nice and sharp. Is you can observe it removing the wax for the pencil. And so you can take off larger sections of the wood, but then when you get close to the fine point, you can just press down a little bit on it and watch the wax be removed. So you get these very, very sharp tips.
Oh, that's nice. I guess that's the nice
benefit of
thing
the-
about
The
using a
benefit of the
metal.
translucent pencil sharpener.
Well, I've got this one too.
I dare say that every last one of us has a grand collection of pencil sharpeners.
Yeah.
I just have
I-
one.
I can't pass them up.
Well, I keep trying to
got
find the best one.
Luggage, I have them everywhere. Always searching for a perfect point.
Just one.
And I don't know if I can do the sharpener in the other hand. I feel like,
Well, if you get those little ones from the art store, they're easier because they're
they're easier.
smaller.
Okay, because I'm feeling a bit,
You got that cheap American junk, Karen. That
it-
Prismacolor
it,
sharpener, that cheap American junk. You need a good German blade.
oh,
Yes.
boy.
You
Okay,
need a
well,
good German blade. I agree with that. Like
okay.
this Statler
Statler.
or
Given that I'm the only, well, Leslie is also dual citizen, I guess, but I guess I can badmouth my country. Cheap Prismacolor junk. I actually have recently been using color pencils
Mhm.
just in the last month or so. And I've actually accumulated quite a collection. And I found that the Faber-Castell for me are much better than the Prismacolor.
the
They hold-
polychromos.
They hold a better point and they color for me better. So
Oh, interesting.
I'm being anti-American today.
Oh, that's all right. So, I have the Prismacolor ones because I had these when I was doing interior design. And then a friend, a friend's husband gave me her collection of Prismacolor pencils. So I have all these Prismacolor pencils to use up. But when I do buy them, when I buy pencil crayons, I was buying Caran d'Ache ones. Caran d'Ache, I think. Anyway, they're quite nice.
Mm.
Sort of artist pencils. And I found out later, like somebody told me never to buy a set of colored pencils because especially if you color a lot, there's colors that you just don't use very often. And so then you end up with all these ones that you don't use. And you're much better off. I mean, I guess you could start with a set, but then just buy singulars because there's colors that you will go to all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you could be like me, colorblind, and it doesn't matter all that much.
Just
There
buy
you go.
singles then.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Matters a little bit, but not as much as for everybody else on this call.
Yeah.
Ta-da.
Oh, she's already done. Okay. Wow.
Well,
you're-
I've been working on them through the week,
Oh, okay.
so.
See, that's the other thing is like, if I give you too much information, then you just go and do it without me.
Guilty,
Especially if it's
guilty as
something we've done
charged.
before, right? Like the radial designs is just kind of a fun little project that,
Well, I was actually glad that you suggested that we could do them and photocopy them though, because I would have never thought to do that. And then I don't have a printer or copier here.
yeah.
So I have to take them to Staples. And so I appreciated that information.
Oh, well,
So
that's
I
good.
could be ready.
Yeah,
for
so you could be
tonight.
ready tonight. Yeah, because it's like you do this doodle, you spend all the time doing this nice doodle, and then it's like it's such a small little thing, but if you could do it so many different times. Well, I mean,
Do-overs.
yeah,
Doodle do-overs.
doodle do-overs. And it's like sometimes, well, I don't send out as many cards as I used to, but I used to send out cards all the time. And it was a daunting task, designing the cards and getting them all done and having them sent out by Christmas, and any that were going across, to England or something like that. It was a lot of work. So especially if you're doing each one like this, I mean, this is, I'm spending how much time just doing this one to make one card. So doing Christmas cards in November is the best time to start doing that, because then you can make a whole bunch.
Well, I also did some working ahead
Mm-hmm.
because I wanted to be able to, I had sort of an idea in my head,
Yeah.
just sort of a general something I wanted to try. And I also wanted to photocopy in color. So
Yeah.
I did that. I did 5. I'll show
Yeah.
you more later.
Okay.
And then I colored one, and I started coloring another one.
Yeah.
And then I realized that I had screwed up and was coloring on my original, which just pissed me right off. So now I have to cut out the middle one of this, and like cut out from a photocopy and stick it on there, so that I have a clean photocopiable template.
That's
I
nice.
was so mad.
Ah.
I was like, "You gotta be kidding me."
Well,
How did I-
that's just another argument about that's what's so great about having a sketchbook.
Yeah.
So and then they're in there and I can use them 10 years from now when everybody's forgotten what my Christmas cards look like. I could just redo them again.
But in your heart, they won't be completely original. There's a reason that I say that, and you'll discover that later.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So once I've got it here, now, the other nice thing about, sort of revisiting this. Oh, what happened to my camera? Okay. When I'm revisiting this is because some of you have done this radio project when we did it before. And so this gives you guys a chance to do a project that we've done before and then add more to it, right? Because that's really sort of advancing us. We're taking something from before, refining it and making it something new. So once you have one of your circles that's all done, what you're going to do is you're going to cut it in half. So choose where you want to cut that makes sense. And again, it doesn't have to be perfect. And then each of those halves, you're going to cut in half. I tell you, when I do this with kids, they get so mad that they're cutting up their work. Okay,
Some of the big kids too.
some of the big kids too. Then
I'm feeling a little that way tonight.
are you okay? You just take those two pieces and you're going to put them together, and then your circles go together, and it creates this sort of.
Your camera, oh, okay.
I think it's having a hard time focusing because I'm moving from page to page. So
We did something similar to this once.
yeah, we did. That's why I'm saying we were taking a project that we did before and we're redoing it and in a different application, because I was showing you guys before how we did that. And I was like, oh, that would make a nice Christmas card, but it has to be smaller. So if you have cardstock, which I have, the hardest part on this is mounting it onto your cardstock. So what you need to do is get your center line on your card. So if you create a pencil center line, and then on the cards that I was doing, I didn't want them to be centered on the card. I wanted them to be a little bit higher. Now I maybe went a bit too high on that one. But if I decide that, okay, so my card is 5.5. We do 2 1/4 from the top. I don't know. Okay, so there I've got sort of like just a quick center line so that I can try to get these on here in a reasonable location that's a little bit above center. And to do that, I'm going to use my glue stick. And it is a bit touchy on this because you got to get that angle right. You got to make sure that you're putting them on as straight as you can. And sometimes there might be a bit of overlap just because, you know, when you're cutting, I'm not precise either. When I'm cutting, I'm just winging it a bit. And I just made a mistake on this, and I'll show you what I did. What a mistake to make. Because I'm coloring a pencil crayon, sometimes a pencil crayon will smudge, and I just smudged it. So when you're doing something like this, when you're gluing things, especially when it's, you know, has the ability to smudge a little bit, you're better off to take a piece of paper. Hey, look, I have some that I painted on.
How convenient.
And just set it on top and use that to sort of push down on the piece, on the stuff, so it doesn't smudge. I'm gonna have to use the eraser, see if I can get that.
Yeah, it should erase right off, I would think.
It should. It does. Anyway, so there's 2. And then
Pretty.
I'll do my other 2.
Nice.
So today I'm using some Canson mixed media paper for my cards instead of just like the cardstock that I
Yeah.
normally use. So it's a little bit more expensive, but I think it's nice. You know,
Mhm.
it's got a little bit of texture and it kind of looks classy.
Yeah. if you have a nice cardstock, the stuff that I'm using right now is sort of like a creamy sort of, and it's got a bit of a sort of a, I don't know, what do you call that, lint in it. It's got lint
Oh,
in it.
yeah.
Now,
No, not a nap. It's just it looks like it has little bits of lint in it or something. So it's a little bit nicer than just white cardstock. So anyway, so there's the card, and then I can go back and erase my lines. And then if I decide I want to do those squares again on top of my card, I will do that. But I might, I don't know, I guess it's okay. I don't know. I'm not happy with that square, so I might have to figure something else out to do. You know, I could just do a line to show that it's an ornament. Just a straight line coming in, it's just hanging in the middle of nowhere.
You could always do like a little embossed sparkle, like a little
Yeah,
star.
yeah, you could.
I don't know exactly how you put it on there though, because if you have to use stamp pad ink in particular, does it, if it works with a variety of types of inks, like one that will actually come out of a pen, and you can quickly draw something on and get your emboss goop on it, shake it off. Try to
We
make
might
a
even
little
be able to do it
sparkle.
with a little bit of glue or a little bit of paint, maybe
Maybe-
just something.
Maybe sparkle glue or something like a glitter glue.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you could do that. I mean, I've done it before on the cards that we did last year. We did like just circles with his doodles and made them look like little circular ornaments on the cards. Oh, sorry. I moved my hand too close to the camera. Anyway, what I did with those is I did like I did like a little dot of glue, and then I used sparkles and sort of floated them on top and then dusted them off, and then I had little sparkly bits, little sparkly dots just to give it a little bit more of a festive look.
That ink that we used last week, though, I did, because I didn't have stamps. So I actually did use, I just dipped a liner brush in it
Yeah.
and painted, and it worked just fine. You just have
Fine.
to make sure you don't get too much on there, because I got the ink a little too thick, and it didn't, even after I had cooked it, it didn't really dry
Oh, okay.
because there was too
Yeah.
much ink.
Too much ink. Anyway, so that's sort of what I was thinking of for the cards, and thinking, well, this is kind of a nice little thing. You can sit and just color, and you know, a lot of the things that I do when I'm coloring is like this one here. I didn't do it on the one tonight, but this one here, I actually mixed some of the colors. So you can see that, you know, my yellow has a bit of orange in it, and my
Yeah.
pink has a bit of orange in it. And
That's fun.
you know, sometimes it's kind of fun to sort of see how you can mix your pencil crayons together to create these sort of, you know, just a little bit nicer lines. So, or colors. Oops, I went too close to the camera. There we go. Not as much mixing on this one. This one instead of doodling, I used a spirograph,
Oh, wild, nice work.
right?
Fun.
Like, you know, like I had spirograph when I was a kid. So
Oh man, that was my
The
favorite toy.
best.
yeah. So it's not perfect, and it's certainly a lot more bits to color, but it was sure turned out nice.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
Get
That
those
was, that was my
spirograph.
favorite one that you did.
Is that one?
Yes.
It's not even me. It's a spirograph.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, but you thought of it.
Thought of it though. I know. They sell them at that art store that I know.
Oh,
At
You
that
can
craft
pick them up
store.
at Value Village,
Do they?
Yeah, you can probably pick them up at Value Village.
but they're missing
I was gonna
pieces.
say, there's gonna be a run on spirographs now.
No. Ooh, look at the cards. All right. So in tune with the sort of the stuff that we're doing and repeating things over the next, I'm not repeating a lot of things, but I am repeating next week's project because we had so much fun doing it last year. And because it's Christmas and because there's snow on the ground, yes, we're going to do.
Snowflakes!
So
Awesome.
we did them last year. We had a lot of fun doing them and still learning how to fold and do them. They're certainly different from the ones that you did when you went to school and elementary school. And oh, come on, camera. Oh, there we go. Anyway, this one is done on what's
Oh,
called
wow.
deli paper, which is if you're getting some sandwich meats or something, they used to put it in there. I don't know if they still sell that.
Right.
But it is an art material, but these are all hand, oh my goodness, my camera, really? Okay, I'll stop moving around. These are all hand cut and look, here's a square one that didn't work, but they're kind of fun and we're going to do those again next week. And so if you have a hard board or something that you could put them on, we're going to try that again
Oh, nice.
next week. So this is a piece of particle board, not particle
Mhm.
board.
Hardwood,
It's actually particle board. But it's, for making kitchen cabinets.
MDF.
No, it's not MDF. It's a bit, oh, come on.
I
Okay.
think they just call it hardboard, don't they, Karen?
I don't know. I picked it up from a cabinet maker. So anyway, it's just a piece of particle board because I can see the edges are, I don't know if I can get this.
Laminated.
Oh, yeah, I see. Yeah.
See, the edges aren't nice.
Okay.
I just painted them and I mean, that's fine. And so we're going to do these snowflakes. If you can get deli paper, it looks really nice. This is done with deli paper and then it's just put on top of a painted surface. And then I've sort of rubbed silver over it. And it's sort of just, it's a nice little thing. It could be a really nice little Christmas gift that you give to someone or a little Christmas decoration. I might even go a step further and we might add some dye to them. Now, Leslie, I think you've done that before with me in when I did the live classes where we dyed the snowflakes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was fun. I
right?
can't even remember how we did it, but I remember
Yeah.
it was like in a plastic bag, so
In a
you didn't
plastic
get too
bag.
bad. Yeah,
Exactly. So we might do that. So if you have a sketchbook, have that ready because I always do like to put one of my snowflakes in my sketchbook and the dyed ones look really cool in the sketchbook because as you put it in and sort of goo it down, the dye pulls and it's just really cool. And so you're going to need Mod Podge, you're going to need a hard board. Now you could get a canvas board, that they sell and just do it on a canvas board and that would work too. So me, I just like recycling. So if you don't have snow, you can go dumpster diving and see if there's anything in a construction bin that you could repurpose because I'm all about that. And that's what we're going to do next week is the snowflakes once more.
So if
Don't
we
wanna
do
dump it.
dyeing, what do you use to dye?
Oh, I was just using, did I use dye? I did use dye. I think I used batik dye, but you could probably just use some inks too.
I think we just used some
Okay.
kind of ink. I
It
don't
might
really
be-
recall. I'd have to check my notes.
I think it was dye because I have all these bottles of dye and I was trying to figure out what to do with them. So I think we used some of that in the classroom, but you could certainly use inks and that might not, well, the inks would probably still pull if you're putting a Mod Podge over them and stuff like that. So, okay, I'm just going to switch the camera off of my desktop and I'm going to let you guys show what you've done tonight. If anybody wants to show,
You have to switch it off the spotlight.
I do. Okay, so I need to go,
Stop share.
stop share.
Okay.
Okay, and then
Click
click
on
on,
it again.
click on me. Click on me. It's not clicking, Bill.
Click on you.
I'm clicking on me.
I can't even see the mouse. So
It's
there-
right there. See?
Okay, right click.
Right click. Right click.
Okay, look,
Oh my goodness. Oh,
top left.
up top,
corner.
right there. It says, look, it says remove spotlight. Okay. All right. Who has something to show?
Well, I was kind of,
Let's Spencer, let's see what you got. You gotta talk. though.
Well, I'm not quite playing the same way you are because I'm not all that good at it, but I'm doing kind of unique cards that I can include with cards for each person. So I'm coloring each one, and this is my first one.
Whoa,
Wow.
That's
well,
kind
that's
of
really
my
nice.
Roy G. Biv Firefly. And this is the second one that I'm working on.
Okay, so you're just taking the circles and just going. Your stuff is so neat, though. Your abstract stuff is
Well,
so
I tried to see, I've got a collection of, round shapes on my bed, glasses, CDs, whatever.
yeah.
It didn't,
Yeah.
I tried to follow along with what you were doing earlier, but I'm not good. When I do freehand stuff, I don't do nice, neat stuff like you guys. It doesn't look good. So I scrapped that one and went back to my coloring. So that's
Well,
my.
you know what, Spencer, you say that every time. You say, I'm not as good as you guys. And then all of a sudden you come up and you're like, oh, look at this shaker I did. It's amazing. And then, like origami. Oh, I did the 30-piece origami. So, you do amazing stuff. Like I love your coloring and things like that. So don't put yourself down. You're just awesome, and you just do it different than everybody else, and that's okay. That's the way artists are. You just do your own thing, right?
I was going to offer this for the people that don't want to dumpster dive in snow.
Yeah.
Go to your local big box hardware store like Home Depot, and in the lumber section, there's always the scrap wood that gets cut, that gets set, that they don't charge you for. So there'll be bins of junk wood that they don't care if you take. So you
Really?
might be able to find pieces that you like that way.
Okay, I don't know if our Home Depot will do that, because I went to their place once and I saw some stuff and they wouldn't let me have it.
Maybe you're looking in the high quality trash can, not the low
Oh,
quality.
okay, maybe that's it. All right, who else has something to show?
Well,
Leslie?
mine kind of exploded.
Oh, Tara, what do you got? Oh my
I
goodness.
just kept drawing circles and I couldn't contain them. They all kind of melded
wow.
together.
They did meld together. Oh my goodness, look at you.
I know, right? So then I said, calm down. And then I went solo. But I haven't started coloring him yet.
Yeah.
And then I
Okay,
went,
you did not do that.
talked about
You did not do
snowflakes.
this in 1 hour.
So then I started my snowflakes.
Okay, well, that's awesome.
Wow.
All
I'm
right,
all over the map.
you are all over the map, but that's okay. That's what we want the creativity doing. So
It exploded. I think I might have been holding it in for a while.
maybe just a little bit. So okay, all right, Leslie, what do you got? You're
So-
hot there. Are you having a hot flash?
I've been drinking hot tea and I think I
Oh.
had a hot flash.
Okay.
So what I thought I would do is work with similar shapes within my
Nice.
5, and
Oh, I
then
love them.
colored them with the same colors. My goal being, and I'm going to see if I can do this, flip it properly, to mix and match. Oh, yeah, it doesn't work if you're covering. Let's figure out where the hell our stuff is.
Oh, they look
So-
beautiful. Look how they just
so-
look like blossoms.
So what I've done is they aren't the same circles.
Ah.
I'm mix and matching
Oh,
what I've
Oh,
got.
that's
Oh, yeah.
apart, and I just wanted to see what would happen.
oh, they're
Pattern.
lovely. They're lovely. I
And then
love
that
them.
way, yeah, and then that way I could maybe do some that were not necessarily this shape. What happens if I introduce another 1 or 2? Does it,
Exactly.
do I get something nice or do I get shite? Who knows?
Yeah.
I guess I shouldn't have done that as being
No, that's
recorded.
okay. That's okay.
But you know what I mean? Like, so anyway, I photocopied them before I started coloring them, and then I goofed and colored on one, but I started another set with some blues and oranges.
Oh,
And
they're
I'm just gonna
beautiful.
use that same grouping of color pencils and then, yeah, see how many I get out of it.
That's beautiful.
I've got to figure out what I'm gonna mount them to. That's my,
Yeah.
that's what I don't know yet. I haven't figured that out yet.
Okay. That's, I love the pieces that you're doing there, and where you're not doing just the circle and you've come in a little bit. That's really beautiful. They're really
Yeah.
beautiful. So, all
Mhm.
right, Elizabeth,
We
what have
will
you
see
got?
what happens.
Well, I did, well, this is what I did this week, was I did 2 pages. This one's
Nice.
not all colored,
Yeah.
but there's those ones, and then
Wow.
those.
Oh my goodness. You're so
Wow.
good.
And then this is what I've done this evening while we've been talking.
Yeah.
Wow.
Making 3 of
Got
the cards.
3 done. So I have ideas that I want to, we cut out those rectangle templates
Yeah.
last week. Well,
Yeah.
I have the inside part, and I
Mhm.
thought I would just lay that over and then like, I don't know if I might sponge on or try to use
Oh,
my
I-
knife to put paint or just around the edge.
Yeah.
And
that'd be
then maybe
interesting.
do some embossing highlights or something.
Yeah. Because
Yeah,
they just seem kind of plain, like they're so,
Yeah.
there's so much going on in the thing, and all of a sudden it's just sort of stuck on the card, right? And that's sort of what I'm
Yeah.
thinking. It feels a little sparse considering
Yeah.
what's going on in the design. So
I agree. I really want to do something. I was looking for, I picked up these little stamps today, but I was looking for something that I could put in the corners, like little corner designs or something, but I couldn't find anything that was appropriate. I found a deer, but no.
the other thing that you can do, and I know because my mom had one, and it's a little it's a punch, it's a paper punch for a corner, and it makes it like a decorative corner. So that you could do something like that, where if you just punch those 2 corners, then it's a decorative corner that's sitting on the flat of the back of the card, and that would add a little bit of interest to it too. But I still
Yeah.
think you need something else on there other than just the
Yeah.
design. So this is part of the thing that I really like about doing this, is where I see everybody's different sort of ideas and what they're doing, and this is what inspires me, is seeing each one of you took this thing and did your own thing with it, and I think that's just what's so cool about this. So thank you.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
All right.
Yes.
Okay,
It's
so
fun.
snowflakes, I got to remember how to fold them again. It's like, didn't I write it down last time? Anyway, but we'll be doing the snowflakes next week, and yeah, we'll see if I'll get the supply list out quickly, and we'll see you next week.
All right.
All right.
Okay,
Thanks.
well, you guys have a good night.
I'll
Okay.
try to have it up by Friday or Saturday.
Yeah, I'll try and have it up soon. All right,
Okay.
you guys have a good night.
You too. Bye-bye.
You too.
Brooke says hello, Spencer and Karen.
Oh, good.